Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. So this is the weekend, and how are you? Hope you guys had a great week. All right. So a lot has gone down. So much, so much, so much. Um, so I've been asked to kind of cover crypto. So crypto trading's not any different than normal trading. If you know what type of style you're trading. So the style that I'll be looking for is just trying to find levels of supply and demand and seeing if we can capture those momentum swings. So if you guys been watching me, you can know that I usually do a very shorter time frame, but just because it's a very shorter time frame doesn't mean it doesn't work in any time frame. So um, here's a demonstration, especially if you want to trade something and don't really have enough time to put into it. It's using the same mechanics, the same tools with less time. Okay, so but you still have to, identify these levels, and then you're going to have to manage your position accordingly because we want to lock in some profits, right? Okay, so let's look at Bitcoin and the top three here. I'm going to get rid of MicroStrategies because that's usually coincides with Bitcoin. I don't know what the top three, and let's go over Shiba because that's one that everybody kind of is on the horizon and everybody wants. So is it Shiba Inu? Let's go with the USD version, right? Where is it? Right there. All right, let's go with the Shiba Inu. Yeah, let's go with the dollar version. Okay, so we're gonna keep it right there. All right, so all these three are in daily prep. So what I mean by that, each candlestick here represents 1 day of trading. Now, because it is crypto, the days are a little bit longer. So they're not just like the normal days of the market where it goes from 9:30 Eastern time to about 4 o'clock. So depending on your time frame. So we only have what 8 hours of trading, right? So anything that happens overnight, you are at the whim and have to make decisions appropriately. So with crypto, it's a little bit different. So let's dive in here. I'm going to turn myself off because it's getting to be a little bit of a distraction. So let's do that. Okay, so let's dive in. So we're looking at Bitcoin here. So if I look at Bitcoin and I always get asked, what is the system you trade? And there's so many people online that trade very differently. There's a lot of FUD, there's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of new traders, there's people that are studying technical analysis at this moment. There's Fibonacci retracements. They're using RSI. They're using this represents this represents that. And what you're going to find is that there's a lot of uh, over analyzing, which can lead to analysis paralysis, and that's true in anything you do, especially in the in trading, no matter what you trade, right? And anything some people say is can be misinterpreted. At the end of the day, you have to understand philosophy. And uh, do people lie? And my answer to that is yes. We all lie. We lie to ourselves, most importantly. And a lot of times that could lead to making some bad mistakes because your failure to give yourself some good data leads you to make some bad decisions. So let's pertain it here back to the markets. And when I look at the markets, it's price doesn't lie. Right? The price is king. Price is all telling. It can tell you where the supply and demand issues are. And if you just can leave yourself open to realize price, then you'll do really well. And to accept that if you're going long and they're selling, if you can accept that very quickly, then you'll do well and you'll minimize your losses. But let's dive in without getting too philosophical here. Um, so price. So this is the year of, or like couple of, what is this? Let me see if I can balance this out a little bit. Make it auto. Okay, auto. I don't like that. Okay, so that's weird. That's really weird. Okay, so auto. Okay, so Bitcoin here. As you can tell, let's just right off the bat, let's identify areas of supply and demand. So right off the bat, what stands out to me is that we're going to look at this level here, right? Which is what is that, 64, let's say 65,000, which was an area way back here when we actually had a decline on April 14th. This when the operations, there was a lot of supply that came into the marketplace and they started unloading, right? So clearly we have to pay attention to that area because we're coming up to that area. We actually surpassed it and then real quickly we sold off. So this is the area that we're going to be looking at. Now, it did raise the bar a little bit and it kind of took some people out because at this moment, people were like, whoa, it's going to break through. We're going to the moon. But the reality is, this is a hard area, right? So, in the game of trading, is that, you know, this is FOMO trading. There's people who came late to the party, and this happens all the time. And people who bought here are probably going to sell and lock in some gains because at the end of the day, not everyone is hodling. There are professional traders out there that they make their living trading, and they're using Bitcoin as that vehicle to make a living at it. So they might own Bitcoin, but they probably might sell their positions because they realize that some people are going to be up there. And usually this is shaking the tree. They're shaking out the people who bought here because people who bought here are late to the game. This is FOMO trading. Now, if you ever want to watch my videos, you know I use the MACDs. Now, what's a way that you can minimize the FOMO trading? Well, this right here is called a MACD. This is a momentum indicator. And what do I mean by that? It's just an indicator that tells you which way is momentum heading. Is it going up or is it going down? That's it, right? These two lines, and there's a certain equation to it. You can look it up. I don't know the equation. It did win Nobel Peace Prize at 1 year for this beautiful equation. But there's a lot of momentum indicators. I think the problem that most people I see is they use like 3, 4, 5 momentum indicators, and again, they're suffering from analysis paralysis. All you need is one and price, in my humble opinion. But here it is. So here is the momentum, right? So when the blue line is faster than the white line, when the blue line breaks apart and you start noticing the break, this is an ideal entry for a momentum trade, right? Because this is the beginning of the FOMO. This is the beginning of no FOMO exists here. This is where a trader can identify that we are at a certain key level and they're going to be starting building or buying a position, pushing it higher. Now, as it goes, you're going to see that it's building, it's building, it's building, it's building. It's coming to the end, right? We're not there yet. Might come to the end. We're getting close. But in most cases, this is the area right here. And I haven't looked at price yet. But right here, this is the area that most people say, darn it, it's going to go to the moon. If you were just to look at price and go up here and realize how far are you away from when this started? You're pretty far away. Doesn't mean it's not going to continue higher, but if you're looking at this time frame, at the daily time frame, right? If you're looking at this time frame, then more than likely you're going to get the end tail of it. And if we were to zoom out and go, where was the last time that there was a lot of supplies? You can see that there was a lot of supply here at the tail end of this, and more than likely you wouldn't want to get in. This is FOMO buying right here, right? Because you're failing to identify these areas you bought and then you got shaken out. Now, when I say it's going to pull back, it's going to pull back. Not that I want it to pull back, but things need to pull back. So if let it pull back. So right now, this is the beginning of a downward cycle, a downward trend. So how far is it going to go? Well, that depends. Right now, if this keeps going, right, looks like we're in the middle. Can we turn right now? We can, and it could swing back up. But you understand, these levels are pretty darn strong right now. What is going to be the catalyst to take it back up? There is a probability that could happen, but right now, I would not go long until these start turning, right? Because this can go lower, lower, lower. How low can this go? Now, most recently, and this happened maybe 2 days ago, we did see that buyers stepped in at 57,000, 57,600, 220. So we're going to print that. Now, is this a strong level? No, not a strong level at all, right? This is an area consolidation right in here. But, so we expect buyers to come in. But we're going to watch this level because now what's going to go on in the future? Is it going to pull back maybe to the 50-day moving average, which if you guys know, I study the 50 is part of my my trading system. could it go? Now, if it stays up here, it just gradually stays up here, that's fine. The 50 is going to come up and meet it. And what's going to happen there? And it's just going to come back down and then bounce. So when I say zero, right in here between these red and blue lines, there's a zero, right? If you look to your right, there is like a 34, 16, and I'll show you over here. Yeah, this is zero. So if these lines remain above zero, that means the market is very, very bullish, right? If the market drops below zero, that means that there's some more bearishness than bullishness that's occurring to the market. As you can see, if we look at this period of time, it bounced off zero and went a little lower. So it just tells me it's going to go a little lower, and it might be a basing pattern, right? So, this is a key way to avoid buying at the highs. And if you want to build a position, or maybe if you want to take some off the table, lock in some gains, there's many different ways you can manage your position. I know a lot of professionals, hedge funds, when they've got into a long position and they've got an enormous amount of gains, they might trim off 20, 30% just to lock in those gains and say, okay, we got 20, 30% and let the rest of the position hold. And then when it pulls back, they might buy more into it. That's a strategy that they use. So just be aware of these strategies of how to use it in a way that you can use the MACDs. So this is a way. So if I zoom out, what Bitcoin going to do? So we do see some headwinds up here, right? At the 63, right in here. There was some selling pressure right in there. So there was there. Now it's here. So what's going to happen here? Is it going to come back down? Is this going to be taken out? If it is it going to come back to 52, which was this period up here? If that's the case, then right there, we would see as the MACDs turn or start to turning, might go long again. And this might be a way that you can possibly, not pay 62,000 and feel the pain as it pulls back, because that's painful, and wait for the momentum, the big boys to come in. So there you have it, guys. That's how we use MACDs. If you want to go in a longer time frame, you can. Let's say you don't have enough time, right? In the longer time frame, what do we have? Well, the longer time frame, you're doing good because you had a support bounce. You're still in it. MACDs are still rolling. It's still telling me that, hey, it's consolidating. There is some supply there is stopping, right? But it's still holding. There's no reason why until these start turning that you want to go long. If you can't do once a week, then go monthly, right? Monthly, then you would probably got in right in here in the month of October, maybe November, and you're riding this wave. As it's peaked right here, so this is a peak, so you'll print that, right? And it's pulling back a little bit, and is it going to break through, right? But we're at the highs. This needs to pull back. Now this is a month, so this is the month of October. We have a couple more days on that. Or I think we're done, right? And then November starts. So find out, look where November is going to start. Is November going to be the pullback, right? This was May, right? This was April. June kind of balanced itself out. So there's many different ways to play it. Okay. All right, guys. Hope this is helpful. And all right, we'll see you soon.